My name is Lucas Godinho. I'm originally from Brazil. I came to the United States when I was 19 years old. It was like in 2011. I'm a student at Point Park and I practice Nichiren Buddhism. I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism when I came, my family, first of all, was Catholic from Brazil. So I had never, of course, I heard about Buddhists before, but I would never say that I would become a Buddhist in my life. And then when I come to California, when I moved to the United States in 2011, it was a big change in my life. Of course, like being this boy that was living with my family the whole life and then moved to the United States, somewhere very distant, somewhere where I had to take the responsibilities for things and very different. So I struggle a lot. And the first person that I met there was like another Brazilian guy, because another point was that I didn't speak English at all. I found out that he did this practice, he practiced Nichiren Buddhism. And he introduced me to the practice, he showed me everything, how you do things, and I gotta be sincere that initially I was just like, I mean, it's cool, but I mean, I don't want to do it for my life, you know, I don't want to do it. I would chant sometimes the Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, but I didn't want to be part of the practice as a whole. But definitely that was, I think him as a person that practiced Nichiren Buddhism was the first thing that caught my attention. I was like, man, you might have something good in this thing, because this guy is like just amazing. Nichiren Buddhism is, so a little bit, I'm not the best person to explain historically what it is, but of course I have an idea. It came, of course, it's a Buddhist practice. It came from Mahayana Buddhist, and from Siddhartha Gautama, which is the original Buddha who wrote the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is like the Bible for the Christians, that's what it is for us. And after like a couple thousands of years, this guy called Nichiren Daishonin was studying all of the sutras that he wrote, and he was really like same struggle that Shakyamuni Buddha had in terms of trying to figure it out, what's the solution for human suffering. Nichiren Daishonin was in the same path, trying like, what's the way, you know, what's the way to live a life of happiness and be just be happy, eliminate suffering and live a joyful life. So he started studying a lot of philosophies and religions, and he studied all the sutras. He read all the sutras that Shakyamuni Buddha had wrote. And the sutra that stood out to him was the Lotus Sutra. And the reason why the Lotus Sutra stood out was because it was the only sutra, was the only philosophy that Shakyamuni Buddha wrote that said that anybody in this present moment could attain enlightenment. And that seems okay, that seems normal, but it was very revolutionary, because if you think about someone that, if you think about something that says that anybody can attain enlightenment in an age that like women are treated differently, like race, class, all those things that are very unequal at the time, and you read a philosophy that says that we all equal. Nichiren Daishonin said, man, that's the philosophy, you know, that's the philosophy that I wanna propagate. So he embraced that sutra, the Lotus Sutra, and he created a practice, because initially it was just a philosophy, something that he was reading and like the theory. So he said, how can we apply that into our daily life? That was the first question that Nichiren Daishonin asked. So he developed a practice that's called, the title of the Lotus Sutra is Myoho Renge Kyo. And he, at the time, he scribed a Gohonzon, which is, it's the object of devotion in our practice, which is a condition of life. It's not like a deity or something that we worship, but he scribed this scroll. It's like a mandala that we chant for. and we chant the title of the Lotus Sutra, which is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo means devotion to the mystic law of cause and effect through sound. So it comes from the idea that anything that happens in our environment, anything that happens in our life is actually a reflection of our life. It's a reflection of our internal state. So if you want to change things externally, it needs to change in the essence, which is internally. So we try to fix things outside of ourselves. It's just illusion. The essence, if you don't change essentially where the things are, which is in our heart, things are not going to change. That's the principle of Buddhism. Buddhism is very practical. It's very daily life. It's not like to be a philosophy or you want to be enlightened or this beautiful Buddha somewhere, you got to go to the top of a mountain. It's daily life. It's like, how do I deal with my boss? How do I deal with my girlfriend? How can I create value on my daily life? When I wake up, I want to have a joyful day and I want to make the best of it. That's what Nichiren Buddhism is about. 13. I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism in 2013. And man, it was just, if I tell you like the difference between what I am right now and the amount of transformation I had in my life since I started practicing, it's just crazy. Because I lived in Brazil, right, for the first, until I was 19. And I was a very, very spoiled guy. I was privileged to, they have the family that I had always supporting me. But I feel like I appreciate everything they did, but they kind of over-supported me. I came to the United States, I became lost. I was lost. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I make my bed, man? So it was like, it was a big struggle for me at the beginning. So the practice, so once I started getting into the practice, I started having a lot of like revelations and understanding a little bit about myself and things that I needed to transform. I was so used to people doing things for me and that I never, I thought that was just how things should be. I think people should just do things for me and that's how life is. So I never created a sense of gratitude, like really appreciating people for giving me or doing things for me. So the practice really helped me to manifest more this grateful side of myself where I feel much more grateful for things today. And I feel like there's no happiness without gratitude. Practitioners of Nichiren Buddhism, we're part of an organization called SGI, which stands for Soka Gakkai International. Soka Gakkai International, Soka Gakkai in Japanese means Value Creation Society. And there was the organization developed to support practitioners of Nichiren Buddhism. But in the weekends, on Saturday, I always go to the community center because SGI has a community center here in Pittsburgh, in Greentree. I always wake up and we go to the Tozo with 9 a.m., which is like 1 hour chanting with a group of people. So I go to that every Saturday and Sunday that we do that. Yeah.